Have you noticed how comfort feels like peace, but secretly robs you of your power? Comfort whispers in a gentle voice, telling you that you are safe, that you can stay where you are, that nothing needs to change. Yet beneath its softness lies a silent thief, stealing the fire of your spirit. Comfort is a velvet cage. It is lined with softness, but its bars are invisible. And once you settle inside, you forget that you were born to soar. If you are ready to break free from comfort's chains and walk boldly into your divine potential, subscribe now for daily awakening truths that will guide your soul back to its rightful power. Comfort pretends to be your ally, but it is the great deceiver. It tells you that tomorrow will be the right time. It tells you that rest is all you need. It tells you that playing small is wisdom. But the soul was not designed to live in cages. Your spirit was created to move, to grow, to expand like the dawn rising over the horizon. And every time you choose comfort over courage, a piece of that dawn is delayed. Think of a man sitting by a warm fire while the world outside calls him to greatness. Opportunities pass his window like travelers on a road, knocking, waiting, offering treasures of destiny. Yet he remains still. The fire is warm, the chair is soft, the call seems distant, and so he stays. Days become weeks, weeks become years, and the man becomes older, weaker, dimmer, not because he lacked talent or opportunity, but because he worshipped at the altar of comfort. The truth is clear. Energy must move forward, for this is the law of the universe. Florence Scovel Shinn called it the law of non-resistance. The stream flows, the wind moves, the heart beats, the breath rises and falls. Life is never stagnant. When you resist movement, when you cling to ease and refuse the current, you suffocate your own growth. Comfort is not peace. Comfort is resistance wearing a mask of safety. You may feel that staying where you are is harmless, but stillness in the wrong season is death to the dream within you. A seed cannot remain forever beneath the soil. If it does not break open, it rots. You too must break the shell of comfort. You must allow the divine current to carry you forward. Ask yourself right now, where in your life are you choosing comfort over growth? Where are you clinging to the velvet cage instead of opening the gate to freedom? This is your journal prompt. Write it down. Do not let your mind escape this question. Sit with it. Confront it. Your liberation begins the moment you admit where comfort has stolen your fire. I know why you choose comfort. It feels safe. It feels familiar. It feels like the arms of an old friend. But notice how this friend never lets you leave the house. Notice how this friend never applauds when you try to rise. Comfort is not a friend. It is a jailer who feeds you just enough ease to keep you quiet, while your soul starves for purpose. The law of non-resistance demands forward motion. When a river meets a rock, it does not stop. It moves around, over, through, but it does not resist. So must you. The moment you cling, you create struggle. The moment you release, you find strength. Comfort is resistance, because it resists the flow of destiny. True peace is surrender to movement. True joy is trust in the current. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine a door in front of you. Behind it lies the unknown. Beyond it lies discomfort, but also beyond it lies freedom, power, abundance. Comfort keeps you staring at the door, afraid to turn the handle. But what if, just for one moment, you trusted? What if you opened that door and stepped into the divine flow? Affirm this with me. I am guided by the divine current. I am safe in forward motion. I am free from the chains of false comfort. Say it again until it begins to dissolve the illusion that comfort is your protector. Feel how your body responds to these words. Your spirit has been waiting for them. The danger of comfort is not that it feels good. The danger is that it numbs you. It lulls you into sleep while your destiny passes by. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that the game of life is a game of giving and receiving, of moving forward in faith, not sitting still in fear. If you wait until you feel ready, you will wait forever. If you wait until comfort releases you, you will die in its arms. This is your awakening. Hear it as a sacred alarm bell ringing in your soul. You cannot afford another year of waiting. You cannot afford another day of pretending that comfort is enough. Your soul did not come to this earth to be wrapped in blankets. It came to build, to create, to shine, to overcome. Yet let me remind you gently, comfort is not destiny. It is only a habit, and habits can be broken the moment you decide to see through them. The power of awareness is the first hammer that cracks the cage. The moment you name comfort as your captor, you begin to walk free. So do not despair. Do not condemn yourself for the years you have sat in the chair by the fire. The past is gone. What matters now is the choice before you. Will you remain in the velvet cage, or will you open the door? Will you cling to false peace, or will you trust the divine current? The choice is yours. But know this, the moment you choose forward motion, heaven aligns with you, doors open, energy flows, life itself will rise to carry you. Breathe deeply now, feel the truth of these words. Comfort has stolen enough from you, it has dimmed your fire long enough, but now you see it for what it is. Now you are awake, and with awakening comes power. This is where your journey begins. This is the first step toward reclaiming your motivation, not from effort, but from divine alignment. You were never meant to stay asleep, you were meant to rise. Have you ever wondered why some days you wake with a fire in your chest and other days you can barely lift yourself from the bed? The world tells you that motivation is about discipline, willpower, and grinding harder. But the truth is far more sacred. Motivation is not the muscle of human effort. It is the current of divine desire seeking to flow through you. It is not born of struggle. It is born of alignment. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that thought is substance, and every word is a seed. The law of substitution declares that no mind can dwell on two things at once. If you are resting in fear, despair, or doubt, the current of energy slows, and comfort quietly takes its place. But when you substitute those idle shadows with inspired words, with living affirmations that align with divine law, suddenly the river moves again. Imagine a great river winding toward the sea. Its destiny is to flow, but boulders of comfort, stones of routine, dams of fear stack high across its path. The water pools, stagnant, heavy, lifeless. This is the soul when it clings to the illusion of safety. But remove just one stone, release just one chain of false security. Suddenly the river surges, rushing forward with unstoppable force, as if the ocean itself is calling it home. That is what happens when you align with the law. Motivation is not a trick of psychology. It is the natural surge of divine energy when you remove resistance and substitute truth for illusion. Close your eyes for a moment and see this river inside you. Picture the dam before you, built of all the comforts you have chosen over courage, the television, the endless scrolling, the excuses whispered in the dark. Now, see your hands on the stones. One by one you lift them out. As you do, the waters rise. They shimmer with divine light. They push against the walls until they break, and the flood comes rushing through your veins. Feel it clearing the heaviness in your chest. Feel it stirring your mind awake. This is not imagination. This is energy obeying the law. Say these words softly, but with power. I am guided by divine energy, and my soul moves forward in perfect faith. Speak them again, but now imagine the sound is not coming from your mouth, but from the very depths of your spirit. With every repetition, you are substituting a dead thought with a living truth. The universe does not wait. It obeys the command of the word. As Florence declared, your word is your wand. What you declare becomes the very architecture of your destiny. Motivation, then, is not a flame you wait to be lit. It is a river you release. It is the divine orchestra striking its chord the moment you step into harmony with the score. When you speak, I move forward. Heaven moves with you. When you say, I am alive with divine energy, the stagnant waters break and life pours in. The law of substitution is not philosophy. It is a lever. Place your thought upon it, and you shift the weight of your entire existence. So hear me clearly. Comfort is not simply a pause. Comfort is a false god, a velvet cage that offers softness while robbing the spirit of its climb. But you were not created to sleep in safety. You were created to march through the silent gate of destiny. The river within you does not desire stillness. It longs for the ocean of fulfillment. This is your practice. When you feel heavy, substitute the weight with a word. When your mind whispers excuses, replace them with declarations of power. Stand before the mirror and affirm, the energy of divine desire flows through me. Every step I take is charged with faith. Every thought I hold is radiant with life. This is not positive thinking. This is spiritual law. Let your imagination become your ally. Each morning, see yourself opening the dam inside your soul. Watch as waters of divine power rush into your body. See them clearing fear from your chest, doubt from your mind, weariness from your bones. Let the river flow into your heart. You will command it by aligning thought with law. For the universe bends to the word spoken in faith. Life itself rushes to fulfill the one who dares to declare. Remember the river. Remember the stones. Remember that every word is a hand lifting resistance from the path. Speak with authority, visualize with courage, and you will feel the current move, unstoppable, carrying you toward the sea of your highest calling. The spiritual law behind motivation is simple but profound. Energy must move, desire must express, the soul must flow, and when you substitute dead thoughts with living affirmations, when you replace fear with faith, when you release comfort for calling, the river within you will rise, and nothing can hold it back. And so we move from here, knowing motivation is not willpower, but divine alignment. From this understanding, we step into the next law, where the deeper currents of destiny reveal themselves even more clearly. Comfort is the most convincing illusion the soul will ever face. It comes disguised as safety, whispering that the familiar is enough. It drapes itself like a warm blanket and tells you there is no reason to move, no urgency to rise, no call to answer. But what feels like safety quickly becomes stagnation, and stagnation is the quiet death of divine fire. Inside you, there are always two voices. One is the voice of spirit, urging you forward, calling you to take the step, to speak the word, to trust the unseen. It does not shout, it does not beg. It calls like a steady bell in the distance, a compass that always points to your higher path. The other voice is comfort, softer, closer. It whispers, stay here. You've done enough. Don't risk the unknown. It paints fear as wisdom and hesitation as prudence. And too often, that is the voice that wins. Consider the man or woman who dreams of writing a book. They see it so clearly in their heart, pages filled with words that could heal and inspire. They imagine the book in their hands, their name etched across the cover. The spirit calls them to write, but night after night, comfort pulls them to the glow of a television, the endless scroll of a phone, the easy conversation that numbs the deeper call. A year passes, then another. The dream remains unwritten, buried beneath the velvet chains of ease. Comfort promised peace, but delivered regret. Comfort is a mirage in the desert. You see it shimmering in the distance, offering the illusion of cool water. But when you reach for it, your thirst is still unquenched. You walk away emptier than before. And that is the paradox. Comfort does not comfort, it starves, it hides its cost until time has already slipped away. What are the emotions that feed this cycle? Fear of failure whispers that it is better to stay still than to try and fall. Fear of ridicule tells you that it is safer to hide than to be seen and misunderstood. Fear of uncertainty paints the unknown as danger when it is truly the doorway to destiny. These fears are the architects of stagnation. They are the bricks from which comfort builds its walls. Florence Scovel Shinn taught the law of divine timing, that there are moments prepared by God where action opens a silent gate of destiny. Delay closes it. When the inner prompting comes, when the spirit whispers move, the law requires response. Every moment of hesitation is a seed of loss. Opportunities do not vanish because they were never real. They vanish because you closed the door by choosing ease. So pause and ask yourself, what has comfort cost me in the past year? Which opportunities did I quietly bury under the excuse of, I'm tired or I'll do it tomorrow? Journal this without judgment, but with honesty. Write the names of the doors that closed while you sat still, not to shame yourself, but to awaken your spirit. Comfort is not neutral. It takes, it steals, it leaves behind a trail of unlived moments. But there is a reframe waiting for you. The old inner dialogue says, I'm fine here. This is enough. But the truth is, you are not made for here. You are made for forward motion. Your soul was not designed to rest in the shadows of ease, but to rise and expand into the light of calling. Replace the words, I'm fine here, with the declaration, I am made for forward motion. Feel the shift. One phrase keeps you chained. The other breaks the lock. Try it now. Whisper it to yourself. I am made for forward motion. Say it again, but with the certainty that heaven hears you. I am made for forward motion. As you speak, feel the energy in your chest awaken. That is your spirit remembering its path. That is divine law, aligning with your word. Comfort will always speak. Its voice is woven into the human condition. But so is the higher voice, the one that calls you beyond the mirage, beyond the illusion, into the river of real life. The struggle is not a flaw. It is the sacred battleground where you choose destiny over delay. And when you feel the tug-of-war within you, remember this, comfort's promise is temporary, but your spirit's call is eternal. The velvet cage may feel safe, but the keys are in your hand. Use them. Replace fear with faith. Replace hesitation with declaration. Replace the illusion of safety with the certainty of divine timing. Every time you step forward, you are not just resisting comfort. You are obeying a higher law. You are saying yes to the silent gate of destiny opening before you. You are choosing to let your soul's compass guide you instead of fear's whispers. And that choice, though small, shifts everything. So let today be your journal, your prayer, your declaration. Write down what comfort has cost you. Speak aloud what spirit is calling you to. Replace the old inner whisper with a new command. I am made for forward motion. My soul does not settle in ease. My spirit rises in destiny. And, as you live this truth, you will feel the struggle change. Comfort will lose its grip. Spirit will become the louder voice, and your life will no longer be a mirage, but a river, flowing with purpose, guided by divine law, and unstoppable in its forward motion. From here, we step deeper, beyond struggle, into the sacred path of awakening where every choice becomes a seed of destiny, and every word shapes the future that is waiting for you. Comfort feels soft, but it binds hard. It is like chains around the ankles, invisible to the eye, but heavy on the spirit. You try to move forward, but something drags you back. And yet, within you are wings designed for flight. Wings that long to rise. The tragedy is not that you lack power. The tragedy is that the chains of ease have kept your wings folded. But today, those chains can break. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that words are your weapons, your tools, your keys. Every word you speak in alignment with divine law shatters a link of the chain. Comfort holds you only as long as your words agree with it. When you say, I can't, you weld the lock tighter. When you declare, I move forward with divine strength, you strike the chain with the hammer of truth. The power of words is not just poetry, it is law. Speak forward-moving words, and comfort loses its grip. So begin each day with a declaration. Stand before the mirror, look into your own eyes, and say with conviction, I am divinely guided, motivated, and unstoppable. Do not whisper it, command it. Speak as if heaven and earth must respond, because they do. Your subconscious records every syllable. Your spirit ignites with every word. Chains do not break by silence. They break by sound. Now, imagine this. Close your eyes and see yourself inside a locked room. The air is heavy. The light is dim. This is the prison of comfort. The walls are lined with excuses, and the floor is littered with missed opportunities. But then, in the corner, you see a door. At first it looks sealed, impossible to move. Yet you step forward. You place your hand upon it, and with one declaration, I am free, the lock breaks. The door swings open, and sunlight pours in. Step through it. Feel the warmth. That is your soul breaking free. That is the divine current welcoming you home. But freedom is not theory, it is practice. Each day, choose one act of discomfort that aligns with your dream. It does not have to be monumental. Send the message you've been avoiding. Write one page of the book your heart carries. Wake up 1 hour earlier to build the vision God placed within you. Each step is not just human effort. It is a signal to the divine orchestra that you are ready to play your part. Heaven moves when you move. Remember this law. Action builds momentum. The universe does not multiply wishes. It multiplies seeds. A seed cannot remain buried in the soil's comfort forever. To grow, it must break its shell. That breaking feels like death, but it is life beginning. If the seed resists, it rots. If it yields, it rises. So too with you. You cannot rise without breaking something open. The shell of fear, the crust of routine, the soil of false safety. Your breaking is your becoming. Picture your life as a river. For years the water has pooled, stagnant behind the dam of comfort. The dam is not stone. It is your words, your habits, your hesitation. Every time you act, every time you speak forward-moving truth, a crack forms in the wall. At first, only a trickle flows through. But then the cracks widen, the current strengthens, and one day, the dam bursts. The river surges with unstoppable force, carrying you to the sea of your destiny. You may wonder, can I really change this? Can I truly break free when comfort has chained me for years? The answer is yes, because comfort is not stronger than you. It never was. It is only louder when you are silent. The moment you speak, the moment you move, its power dissolves. You were not designed for stillness. You were created to expand, to grow, to live in motion with divine law. Try this practice now. Place your hand over your heart. Breathe deeply. Speak aloud. Every chain of comfort is broken. My spirit is free. I step into the sunlight of divine purpose. Say it again, until your body believes it. Let your voice carry authority. Do not recite it. Declare it. This is not repetition. This is recreation. And from this place, Take one step today, not tomorrow, today. Choose one act that discomfort has delayed. Write it down. Commit to it. Do it. As small as it seems, it is the hammer strike that cracks the chain. The energy you release in that single act will call forth greater strength. You will feel momentum stir. You will feel heaven lean in. Comfort wants you to believe change is impossible, but impossibility is the mirage. The truth is that transformation begins in a moment. The moment you declare, the moment you move, the moment you break the shell. Comfort will whisper, stay. Spirit will command, rise. Which voice will you obey? Do not wait for the perfect time. Divine timing is never later. It is now. When you choose forward motion, the silent gate of destiny opens before you. When you delay, it closes. Choose now. Break the chain now. Step into the light now. Feel this rising within you. The chains are falling. Your wings are unfolding. The room of excuses is dissolving behind you. You are stepping into sunlight. You are breathing free air. You are living in motion with divine law. This is the moment of release. This is the awakening of motivation. Carry this truth. Comfort is not your master. Spirit is. Words are your keys. Action is your path. And every day you rise in faith. The chains of ease turn to dust beneath your feet. And from here, we move into the next sacred step, where the energy of momentum becomes not just a choice, but a way of life where your forward motion becomes unstoppable, guided by divine current, anchored in destiny. There comes a moment in every soul's journey when the valley no longer satisfies. The valley is safe. It is soft. It is predictable. Yet within that safety lies a quiet suffocation. Your spirit knows it was not designed to stay in the shadows of the valley. Your spirit was born for the climb, for the mountain, for the brilliance of light that waits at the summit. Comfort whispers, stay here, it's easier. But destiny calls, rise, for the view from the top was written for your eyes alone. Life is a sacred journey up a mountain. The base is crowded, filled with voices that cling to ease, but as you ascend, the path narrows. Each step upward requires courage, faith, and the willingness to let go of the weight you once carried. Comfort is the valley. Motivation is the climb, and divine energy is the wind at your back, urging you toward the summit of your purpose. Hear this declaration and let it settle deep in your heart. I choose growth over ease, purpose over comfort, divine destiny over delay. Say it now, and notice how your spirit straightens. Notice how your inner being responds to truth. These are not just words. This is law. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that every word spoken is a decree. Each time you affirm divine choice, you are writing your future in light. True motivation cannot be borrowed from another. It cannot be manufactured through pressure, fear, or external force. Real motivation is sustained by union with the divine current. When you live connected to that current, you do not move from willpower alone. You are carried. You no longer chase results with strain. You are lifted by a power that cannot fail. This is why so many burn out. They rely on their own strengths, trying to push uphill without plugging into the infinite source. But when you align with divine energy, fatigue turns into flow. Obstacles become stepping stones. What once felt impossible becomes inevitable. Because the mountain was never meant to be climbed in isolation. The climb is sacred, and the spirit climbs with you. Let gratitude become your anchor on this ascent. Every morning, pause and acknowledge the divine strength that breathes through you. Say softly, thank you for this breath. Thank you for this chance to rise. Thank you for the strength that walks me into destiny. Gratitude is not a passive ritual. It is the tuning fork of the soul, aligning your heart with heaven's frequency. And from that frequency, power flows. Now speak this affirmation with the fire of belief. My life is fueled by divine energy, and I walk boldly into my destiny. Not timidly, not hesitantly, boldly, because you are not climbing alone. You are backed by the eternal. You are carried by law, and divine law never fails. Pause for a moment and reflect. What would your life look like a year from now if you broke comfort's spell today? Close your eyes if you can. Picture yourself 1 year from this very moment, no longer bound by hesitation, no longer circling the valley. See yourself standing higher, stronger, radiant with fulfillment. See the fruit of courage, the harvest of discipline, the reward of faith. Can you see it? That vision is not fantasy. That is your soul's prophecy calling you into alignment. Do not wait for the perfect conditions. The mountain will never flatten itself to make the climb easier. Destiny honors those who begin with trembling legs and keep moving until their steps become steady. The climb will demand more from you than the valley ever did, but what it gives in return is priceless. Growth, freedom, fulfillment, eternal significance. So, I invite you into a sacred challenge, not just a passing thought, but a covenant with yourself and the divine. Every day this week, step into one action your comfort tried to stop. Speak the word, make the call, take the step, release the fear. One act of courage per day. That is your offering on the altar of destiny. And then, return here, share your transformation. Let this community become a living witness that divine energy multiplies when shared. This is more than motivation. Motivation alone is a spark. It ignites quickly but fades without fuel. But when your motivation is bound to divine law, it becomes an eternal flame, a fire that cannot be extinguished, a fire that lights your path, warms your heart, and guides you through every season of the climb. You are not called to live small. You are not called to circle endlessly in the valley of comfort. You are called to ascend, to rise, to live fueled by divine energy. And as you climb, you inspire others to lift their eyes and follow. That is how light spreads. That is how destiny multiplies. That is how your life becomes part of a divine orchestra. Each step a note, each victory a song, each triumph a testimony of the power of union with spirit. So hear the closing of this sacred circle. You are chosen to climb. You are fueled by divine energy. You are bold, unstoppable, and aligned with eternal law. Comfort will call, but you will not answer. Delay will tempt, but you will not bow, because the flame within you is eternal, and with every step, you rise into the fullness of who you were always meant to be. This is not the end of your journey. It is the beginning of your ascent. The summit awaits, and the divine current will carry you there.